The DA's federal executive is meeting today to discuss the immediate future of outgoing Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba. The FedEx is expected to decide whether he should leave immediately or be allowed to vacate his office next month. Mashaba is leaving after Helen Zille was appointed federal council chair this past weekend. More resignations are expected to follow, and party leader Mmusi Maimani's future is looking increasingly uncertain. eNCA's Samkele Maseko is following that story for us. How's it going to play out, Samkele?
Well, Jane, it seems as if they refer to her as the Terminator. Helen Zille, the Terminator. Will she be terminating Mashaba's early retirement from the city of Johannesburg? He's asked for a month to leave, but it's her first FedEx meeting, and we are wondering if she'll be terminating anybody's contracts in her first meeting. Mrs. Zille, how is it going to play out in this FedEx meeting? We've seen Mmusi Maimani coming into the meeting. How is it going to play out?
It's going to be a very important meeting, obviously, and I'm not a terminator. They just call me the Zillinator, which is a different thing entirely. I follow the rules very carefully. I follow the constitution of the party within the constitution of the country. Now, obviously, there are several things that are going to be very important in this meeting. The first thing is going to be the report of the review committee, which we are going to have to consider. The second is the resolutions arising from the Federal Council to action the recommendations of the review committee. That's the other thing that we're going to have to look at. Obviously, the city of Johannesburg will be very high on the agenda because we have to analyse events in the past week, look at them through the lens of the DA's constitution, and then determine what legally needs to follow.
Has Zillinator received Mmusi Maimani's resignation?
Absolutely not. And in fact, I'm due to have a meeting with the leader now, with Mmusi Maimani, and I haven't received any resignation at all. He was ill yesterday. I'm really pleased to have just seen him arrive and driving past us now. And so I have a meeting with him, and I need to get to it and not be late.
A very frosty relationship that he didn't even stop and greet you.
He didn't stop and greet me because he saw me talking to you. What's he supposed to do?
Well, what's going to happen with the city of Johannesburg? Are you going to be granting Herman Mashaba that leeway of 30 days to wrap up his work in the city of Johannesburg and find a replacement?
What the DA does is it doesn't allow individuals like me to make pronouncements about what we're going to do. What the DA does is sits down in proper meetings like the FedEx, consider all points of view, reach a conclusion and then implement them. So it's not what I think or what I propose, it's what the meeting discusses and decides on.
At this point in time, is there any way or wind that you can see this particular discussion taking place? People may have been having their talks behind certain corners about this issue of Herman Mashaba. I know there's no love lost between the two of you, particularly after his resignation and the way he gave the DA a blooded nose in his resignation.
Look, I have always been friends with Herman Mashaba, and this morning we had a wonderful little chat on WhatsApp, and I'm not a vindictive person. I don't know why he's come up with these arguments suddenly. There must be something else that lies behind his resignation, and now he quickly uses this convenient card to give himself a justification. There's much more behind the scenes than meets the eye. So Herman Mashaba and I have always been friends, and we've had a very nice little engagement on WhatsApp today, so I feel good about that.
Are you preempting a certain announcement by Herman Mashaba and a certain someone whom you're expecting their resignation?
I don't know who a certain someone who's expecting what resignation from what behind-the-scenes talks. That's not how I work in politics. I work straight, dihamba ngqo, and I'm not really interested in manoeuvrings. I have a meeting now with the leader. I respect the leader. I have worked very well with him over many years. There have been ups and downs in our relationship, that is true, and that is something that everybody knows, but I don't bear grudges, and I'm not a vindictive person, and I go forward because I believe in the cause of the DA and the cause of South Africa.
What is the meeting about with the leader?
We're going to discuss all the items on the FedEx agenda,
including the recommendation in by the report by Tony Leon that he should step down as the leader of the party.
Well, the bottom line is that that report is going to feature as part of the discussion in FedEx, so obviously all of those issues will be on the table, yes.
The last issue, your relationship with the EFF, that report said that relationship has been detrimental to the party and you should cut that relationship off. Does this mean that you will be relinquishing power in Tshwane and the city of Johannesburg?
It's important to understand what the report said. It did not say that we must cut the relationship. It said very clearly that we must poll the residents of the cities that are governed in a mutual agreement between the DA and the EFF and find out if they believe that that's been good for the city and good for service delivery. That is what we've decided. That's in the report, and it does not say that we must summarily terminate anything. But that is going to be part of the strategic discussion at the meeting today. So I wish him, the whole document's out there in the public, so it's really important to get right its recommendations.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Federal Chairperson.
No. We are not in a communist state. I'm not Miss Federal Chairperson anything. I'm Helen Ziller.
Okay, Helen Ziller. Okay. Thank you very much. Good luck for your meeting. She says she's going to meet with Musi Maimane now, and she's there trying to correct me. I'm not in a federal state.
Thanks very much for that, and I'm intrigued to know what the reasons are that she was alluding to behind Herman Mashaba leaving.